I'm gonna hit record. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you, Katie, for joining us tonight. It's a special treat to have you on our call. Katie is a mom of two to the most cute little kids in the, so adorable, Ella and Jackson, full of personality. And she just got a new addition, Rosie, which she's like the cutest little puppy. She looks like a little stuffed animal. She's just so adorable.
Yeah, she's got a personality too, though. She's got a strong one.
Well, Katie, you live in North Carolina, right by the ocean, which is like, I always look at your pictures and I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I just want to go.
I like it here too.
Yeah, it looks like you have your little oasis, which is awesome. But Katie, you've been a coach for 2 years, right? A little bit over 2 years?
A little over 2 years.
Yes, and has, just became a 12-star coach, which is awesome. Congrats to you. I'm so excited. And we just know that you're just on your way to superstar status. And, you're just an amazing leader. And I just, we just love seeing your posts. You always, your personality, you're so, transparent, and you just, are just sweet and funny. And like, you just can tell you're just like, a humble person and a great leader. 12-star, rank, and that's just awesome. But at the same time, you do it because you love it, and you can see it in your posts. You can see it in you. When I met you at the Success Club trip last year and on the cruise, you were just like so nice and just like down to earth, and I just love that. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
And thanks for all that. That was really sweet.
We can't wait to hear your nuggets. So just go ahead, take it away. It's your platform, and thank you.
Well, I will just start with my story, and I really wanted to talk to you guys tonight about just the fact that I joined this business and really did not have like any intention of working the business or building a team. I can remember when I first joined, I had been a customer. I had been drinking Shakeology for a while, and I loved Body Pump. And so when my coach, Amy Capola, said that she was looking for 2 coaches to add to her team, a very creative post, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I was like, oh, okay, well, what is this? And I seriously thought, am I going to have to become a trainer? I mean, I knew nothing about coaching. And so she told me about it. And in the end, after she described it, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is like Pampered Chef or Mary Kay. I'll sign up for the discount. And that's what I did. But I kind of like I was in the back of my mind, I think there was always this like question of like, if I did it, would I make a fool out of myself? And, if it didn't work out, then I'm announcing this big thing on Facebook. And I had been a lawyer before, and I was thinking everybody I went to law school with would think, oh my gosh, like she must have gotten fired and now she's a Beachbody coach. Like, what is that? There were a lot of thoughts going on in my head, but I decided to do it just for the sake of, getting the discount. And then I just sort of like played with it a little. And I did a call with her, and the whole entire time she's talking and I'm rolling my eyes. I'm just like, she was like, look in your online office. I'm like, I don't have a computer. And like, then she was like, if you want to build a team. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. And then, just talking. I was just thinking it was boring and not worth my time. I mean, that is the truth. So I became an Emerald because I saw my mom and my sister, and honestly, I just wanted the recognition. That sounds really bad, but it's the truth. So I didn't want an Emerald on my recognition chart because I thought that was cheesy. So I micromanaged my Emerald announcement, but she announced it, and there was something about getting the praise and the recognition that was like, this is kind of fun. So I decided to keep talking about the products, and I was doing a decent amount of retail. Not too much team building because I was real casual about it the first month or 2. So I guess I started adding like a couple people just for the discount, and I had no idea how to get the diamond. And she told me to come up with a diamond plan. And so I was like, well, I don't know what that is. I dropped out of a diamond group because they kept calling it a business, and I didn't really believe that it was a real business. And I hung up in the middle of a training call with Christina and Becky. And I mean, it was a group call, but I was like drawing butterflies and flowers on a little clipboard. I still remember. It was probably clipboard just like this one. And I hung up in the middle of it because I thought, I don't take this seriously. This is such a joke. I thought that these women were covering their Target bills. I thought that they maybe were like making enough for a date night. No clue what these women were making. Nothing. I mean, no clue. So I get to Diamond mostly for recognition at this point. And I was kind of casual about it, but it took me 3 months to get to Diamond. And when I got to Diamond, I started reading some of the posts on the Diamond page that showed me like some income. And I started having this eye-opening experience that this is a real business opportunity. And at that point, I kind of perked up a little, and I thought, okay, this isn't such a joke, and I can do this. I thought I can do this. If anybody else can, I can do it too. There's nothing wrong with me. I may not have six-pack abs. I may not, be like the idea of a Beachbody coach, but like I think in my heart of hearts, I knew that at the end of the day, it was about likability and connection, and not so much about what your body looks like. And I'm not saying that having that kind of body isn't a perk, but it is not a necessity. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what happened from then on. So the first, I told Maria that I was going to talk a little bit to you guys about income. And so just be forewarned, I'm going to be transparent with you. It's not to brag, it's to get a point across. I want you to take it seriously the way that I did not, because I should have. And I could have already probably been further along if I had been paying attention to Amy's posts for the 6 months that I was ignoring them completely. So I want you to take it seriously, and I want you to see what's possible with some team building. So the first 3 months, I had some good checks because I was a pretty good retailer in the beginning. But they were like $20, $500, $0, $400, $20, $10. I mean, I wouldn't have ever committed to paying off anything with the amount of income that I was getting from retail alone. What I started realizing was I honestly went by faith. Hold on, my puppy's like, okay, sorry. I went by faith. She coughed, and I just want to make sure that she was okay. Went by faith that Amy kept telling me it'll pay off. Team building will pay off. I didn't really study team cycle bonuses. I had no idea there were quarterly bonuses. But I just kept going and kept adding people. And I was so clueless that Amy would say to me, okay, you got another coach. Do you want me to place them? I know you don't know how to do it. So I was really, really clueless. But I just kept going on.
Maybe they're not extinct.
That,
Out there.
Hold on.
Witnesses of the
Hold on 1 second, Katie. Can you all mute your line, please? So we can hear.
One of the stories that's repeated 10 or a dozen times. Two fellas go off into the forest to hunt.
I don't know how to work this thing.
The bottom left-hand side, there's a mic.
Sorry.
that's okay.
I'm sorry. I have no phone this week, and I'm so confused on how to do my computer. I can't get any of my pictures out.
That's when you do this.
I know. I'm so confused right now. I'm like, how do you do this? I'm trying to attach email. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bust in your comments. I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. So I think I'm good, right? You can hear me?
Yeah, if you can just go ahead and mute your line.
Okay. Mute my line. Okay.
Bottom.
Okay. Bottom left?
Yes.
How do I mute my line? Do you know how to mute my line? Where? This one? This one? Okay. Okay. Good?
No.
I don't know how to do this. Oh my God.
Just be very quiet.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I can talk if it was just kind of loud with the TV. It's
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can.
So I just kind of went by faith and let her guide me and tell me in the beginning, it's worth it. Just keep doing it. So I kept doing it, and I can remember her sending me a message with my first team cycle bonus. So I don't have a strong leg. I'm on her weak leg, which eventually became her strong leg, but at the time was a weak leg. And so didn't really have a lot of incentive to add to my leg since I was building so much. So I've never gotten, and that's something I in the end somewhat appreciate, because I can talk to my coaches about, okay, you don't have a strong leg. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. You don't really need a strong leg. So, I mean, you do, it's a nice perk in some ways, but there are definitely benefits to not having a strong leg as well. And I just kept adding coaches to my team, one-to-one, since I didn't have a strong leg. And over time, I started seeing my income level out and become more steady. I can remember the first time, it was about a year into the business, that I thought, I trust my income enough where we can make a purchase that's going to change our life. And it was a boat. Because I could tell, I was like, I'm making, I can't remember the amount at that point in time. I want to say maybe $600-700 a week. And so in a month, maybe like $2,800, $3,000. It's like, we can swing a boat. That's going to change our life. Like, let's go out on the weekends. It was just something, one of those extras that, like, as a stay-at-home mom, we never would have made that decision. But once I started making some income, it was something that was easy to budget in. And that was kind of like an eye-opener for me too, that the team building is my focus. And it always has been. When you look at a lot of coaches, they might really be focused on the products. And I think that's great. And I think you have to love the products and you have to live them. You have to drink Shakeology. I would never, ever tell you no, like, you don't have to do that. You do. Because I think sincerity is so important in what we do. But at the same time, I believe that for me, recruiting is my niche. I enjoy it. I enjoy the team building side, and that's been my focus. I would say if I sell, 12 challenge packs, maybe one of those is retail and the rest are coaches. So I definitely have a focus on recruiting and team building. I put a lot of effort into my team once I bring the coaches in, and that's really important, is paying attention to the coaches that you bring in. But fast forward, and I'm 2 years in with a focus on bonuses. I mean, team cycle bonus. There's sometimes that I maybe have, last week I had -30 in my retail side. And I still earned $3,200. So I don't have to sell anything anymore. I don't have to, I will get paid whether I sell retail or not. And that is a really good feeling. At this point, my checks have gone to like sometimes 5,000. They don't ever really dip below 3,000. And I get the 10-star quarterly bonus. So I'm probably looking at over $200,000 this year. And the reason is team building. So with that, I want you to know that team building is important. If you are a hobbyist and all you want to do is make a quick $15-30 here and there, and you don't care about reliable income that you can pass on to your children, then, be casual about it. But the opportunity is right in front of you, and I don't even know what I'm going to be making next year. Like, I have no idea. I'm not a numbers person. I don't do the spreadsheets thing. It's like winning the lottery all the time. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to make, but it's such a blessing, and my team is a blessing. Like, aside from the financial aspect of it, I've grown so much as a person. I thought as a lawyer, I had this hotshot job. I've been challenged as a leader and grown as a person more as a Beachbody coach than I ever was as a lawyer. And that's not to say it's hard. It just means I feel like I've had personal growth. And challenged in a good way, stretched in a good way. So aside from just the monetary benefits of growing a team, I feel like there's a lot of benefits to just growing as a person when you really get active in building a team and you step up to that leadership role. Mm-hmm. What I really wanted to talk to you guys about, and I did jot down a few little notes, is how to recruit. So it's great. Okay, Katie, like, it's wonderful. You're making money, you're recruiting, and you're building a team. but how do I get there? I can't sign up my first coach, or I can't get to Diamond. And what I really want you to think about are a few different strategies. Number one is confidence. And I talked about this in the Diamond Push group, and it's so important. I don't care if you feel like you suck at this. Like, I don't care if you feel like, oh my gosh, like I have to lose 50 pounds and who's going to want to join my team when I have a beer belly, or I don't know, whatever. But I think you've got to get in the mindset that I was in. Like I told you when I first started, I told myself, I can do this. And you've got to tell yourself that. And your posts have to show it. So you almost post in a way that you talk yourself into believing in yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but you have to believe in yourself, and you have to post in a way that shows that you're a leader, that you're confident, and that you're growing a team. When I started talking about my amazing team, I had my mother and my best friend. Both of them quit eventually. So my amazing team wasn't that amazing, but I was posting like I was a team leader and I was growing this awesome team. So people don't have access to my genealogy or, my downline. They don't know what I'm doing. And my best friend and my mom are amazing. They just weren't amazing Beachbody coaches. So it was okay. Like, that's how I shared it. And I just want you to focus on the confidence. Confidence, building trust is another one. It's different to do retail than it is to recruit. So retail, you can do a lot of retail just by inspiring people. You have 6-pack abs, or you lost 50 pounds, or, you talk about how awesome the Ultimate Reset was. That's a retail approach, and that's great. And it can turn challengers into coaches when they become believers in the product. So I'm not discouraging it. I think it's necessary also to show that you believe in the company and the mission. But you have to think about this. If you want to recruit, you also have to be someone that people trust to join, to become business partners with them. And that's a really different ballgame. To trust you to inspire them to lose weight and to trust you to be their business partner they're two really different things. And in my opinion, you really have to do both. You have to show them that you care about the products, that you love the products, that you love your challengers, that you want to see them successful. But that you also are a serious business person. Now, there's a fine line between cocky and confident. And a few times when I'm feeling like on top of the world and posting about my business, I'm like, okay, Katie, take it down a notch. Like, you're a little cocky right now. And so I try to start kind of humbling myself, but in a real way, like a sincere way. And that's the likability approach. But here's the key. Don't ever humble yourself with the business. Humble yourself with, like, for example, one of my posts one time was, I left the gas tank pump in the car and drove off. And I mean, those are the stupid, airheaded things that I do. And it's okay. Like, is that going to make somebody say, she left the pump in the car, I am not joining her team? Like, show that you're mentally stable. I'm not, maybe crossing the line a little, but show that you're mentally stable, you're trustworthy, be positive, be energetic, be somebody that people want to talk to. But at the same time, always show that you're competent and confident business leader, that people would want to join, that they could trust you to help them earn full-time home income. Especially if you want to recruit the business builders and not just the discount coaches, they have to believe that you're going to take them to a level of income earning that they want to be at. So definitely be thinking about how you can project that through your posts. Another thing is write well. I mean, an occasional misspelling because you typed really fast is fine, but everybody can tell the difference between somebody who makes a typo and someone who consistently doesn't know the difference between there, and there, or 2 and the number 2 and 2. I mean, like, just proofread your stuff, because again, it comes back to, do people want to join forces with you on a business level? And I think you have to appear not like a rocket scientist, not like you have your PhD in whatever, but you have to appear competent enough to run a Beachbody business. I mean, it doesn't take that much, but it does take someone that can form a sentence. So I would, if you feel like that's something you lack in, then start having people proofread it. I would much prefer that a downline coach say, hey, like, could you proofread this post because I'm not the best writer. I would be respectful of that. I would proofread it and I would send it back. But definitely be considering, if that's your weakness, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, and then pay attention, just like you would in, English class. Pay attention to the revisions and try to learn from them, because that's a really important part of the business when you're recruiting through your posts, and even on Instagram, you're recruiting through what you say with the picture. So let me see what else I've got here. You definitely, it can't be, sometimes I'll post, and then I don't have a lot of time on Facebook on certain days when I'm really busy. And I want to make sure that you guys think about also taking the time to comment on other people's things, taking the time to private message them, because what really matters even more than what you post, sorry, that's Rosie. What matters more than what you post is what you say to other people, how you pay attention to them, and if they feel special and if they feel like you care about them. When I slack in the scrolling Facebook or commenting on Instagram pictures, honestly, I'm just getting started on Instagram, but I'm just trying to make sure for people that use that primarily, I'm mentioning that too, that you are paying attention to other people and not just making it a show about yourself, because that can really get annoying to people if you're never paying attention to other people. Something I've done, and this is just a little tip, but it's really helped me in the last few weeks. So another coach told me to do it. When you have a list of prospects, like say you met them in an open house, or you met them on your like page, and then you put them in an open house, you need to, well, you don't need to, but I recommend adding them to your close friends list. I've been doing that lately, and when I do that, it seems like my stuff's circulating in their newsfeed more. They do not see that you add them to the close friends list, so they will not think you are a stalker, because I worried about that. I was like, these people don't even know me, and then they're going to be like, Katie Green says she's good friends with Anna or something. They're going to be like, I don't even know this girl. So don't worry about them seeing it, but what you can do is, say you have a Beachbody post about a challenge group. You can actually select just for that to circulate to your close friends. And here's why that makes a difference. Because when you specifically choose that group of people, say you have 50 people in there, they're so much more likely to have that circulated in their newsfeed than if you blast it out to 1,500 friends and you have 500 Beachbody friends. So definitely make a list of the people that you think would make good coaches, good challengers, and make a close friends list. And when you have a post that's specifically inviting them to something, you can select close friends. And then you know that it's more than likely going to be in their newsfeed. So I think what else I would like to tell you guys. I know another one. Another post that I think is so important, even if you have one coach on your team and they sell a sampler pack of Shakeology, if that's all you've got going, turn it into a praise post. Praise your coaches on Facebook, praise them on the team page, but praise them. I remember a quote by Mary Kay that said something about, what people want most in life is praise and recognition, or I can't remember the words exactly, but that was the idea. And I can tell you that from the beginning, I've always recognized my coaches. I've always praised them, and it makes a big difference. Not just, yes, it makes a huge difference in how they feel about their business and how they feel about you and the team, and just, it makes everybody feel good when they're recognized, right? But it also shows that you're building a team and that you're the kind of leader that would recognize and praise. That's telling everybody that's considering whether or not to join your team that's telling them she's a leader and she's a really good leader and she's really positive, and I want that kind of praise. I want a pat on my back, you know, and we all do. So it's recruiting at the same time as building up your teammates. So I would never neglect posting really positive things about your team, really positive things about specific individuals and the team as a whole. Anytime you have anything happen, and like I said, if you have one coach and they sell a sampler pack, even if it's to their husband, then woohoo, they made their first purchase and you are so proud of them and you know they're going places. So think about ways that you can fit it in, and always post personal stuff. You guys, like if you looked at my page on some days, you wouldn't know I was a Beachbody coach. I wasn't like that in the beginning. I would say I posted 2 to 1 in the beginning, and now I probably post maybe 4 to 1 on most days. I sometimes slide Beachbody in there, like I'm at the beach, rough life, coach life, or something like that, you know, but for the most part, it's not Beachbody in your face all the time, because what I find is I want people staying with me. I don't want them hiding me. And if I'm boring, or if I'm salesy and I have like a I Heart Beachbody coaching picture every other day, number one, they're not going to read my stuff. I mean, the whole point is to get people to read your stuff. So, you know, if you have a picture of a challenge pack, most of the time, keep scrolling, you know, most of the time. A coach the other day on my team was doing something for an open house, and it was very, very well written, and she had a really pretty graphic with it. But she was like, I don't want it to sound scripted. And what I told her was, if you're trying to sound off the cuff, unplanned, and natural, a picture with a graphic that you made doesn't look that way. It looks scripted, it looks planned, which is fine sometimes. I'm not saying don't do graphics, but think about how you're communicating what you want to communicate. There are posts that I make that sound off the cuff, but I've been thinking about them for 30 minutes, like while I brush my teeth and get ready, you know? And so I'll just post really quick. It'll be 2 sentences, but I was kind of thinking of the idea before. And think about the little things throughout your day that people can relate to. Because again, this is about likability and relatability. And it's not about perfection. It's not about trying to say, oh my gosh, all I eat is like vegan this and lettuce this. And like nobody likes that person. So especially the person with a couch potato who's annoyed already that you're working out and that you're not 50 pounds overweight too. So like be likable, be relatable, and it's okay if you don't only eat spinach and Shakeology, and that's okay to show some flaws. As long as you show your dedication to the cause overall, and that you care about health, that you care about the cause, like just the mission overall of Beachbody, you know. It's okay to not be perfect. In fact, I think it's great to not be perfect, to be transparent, to be real, to be who you are. Whoever that is, you know, if that is you, if that is all you eat is spinach, then you got to find something else that people can relate to and that is likable. So I'm sure you've got it. Everybody does. But you know, don't try to be somebody you're not, coming in and being like suddenly this personal trainer. Everybody knows you're not. So don't fake it. Just be yourself. Be real. Share your personal stuff. Share little stories about your kids. Share little stupid things that you did. If you don't do stupid things, then you're probably the only person. You know, we all do stupid things. I put trash in the washing machine the other day, and that was a post. So, like, that's the kind of stuff, though. You know, like, you've got to figure out those little things that moms are like, well, this is what I did, you know, like, I left a cup on the top of my car and drove off at the car line, or whatever it is. But the point is, you're finding those little things that people are going to comment on the way they can relate to you. I have some people that send me messages and they're like, I feel like I can talk to you. My sister's a coach or my cousin's a coach, but like they eat so perfectly and they're so perfect and I just cannot talk to them about my problem. Or I have people that tell me that they feel like they've known me forever, and that's because I'm an Aries. Like, I don't know. But like the point is, you need to post things that make people feel like they know you, that you're their next door neighbor. And so I think that's pretty much all I've got. Does that cover it?
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry about the dog barking.
Oh, no problem. That was awesome nuggets. I took lots of notes, so thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I kind of just talked off the cuff. It didn't feel super organized, but thank you for having me. And if you guys have any questions, I've got time.
Yes. If you guys, if you want to unmute your lines now to ask any questions.
Let me get Rosie.
Okay.
I'm just going to hold her.
No problem. Yeah, we can definitely, I mean, you have some time, so if you can.
There she is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, she's so cute.
Her hair's in your face. Okay. Go ahead. Shoot. Ask
So
me questions.
cute.
Oh, thank you. You have anything?
Any questions?
Well, for the recruiting, I have a question with recruiting. Once you, like, do you do a lot on your like page, or do you on your, like, how you just go ahead in your personal page and like once you found your niche, those are the people you started targeting? Like how?
I personally do not do much on my like page. My like page stinks. So what I do with it is I use it as a way to filter new people into my personal page.
Okay.
I know a lot of coaches do their like page. What I tell my coaches at this point, and this is after the whole Facebook scare of, you know, your page is going to be shut down and move your page to your like page because, you know, you could lose everything. And I actually have a cover photo somewhere in my photos that says, we're moving. We didn't move. I couldn't move. I'm a Facebook addict and I just kept posting. But my like page isn't my comfort zone. I don't really like talking to like this massive group of strangers and I don't know who they are. And so what I've decided to do, and this is what I tell my coaches to do, is a like page is great. Like I would definitely encourage you, especially after you feel like you've tapped out of your warm market, I would encourage you to start a like page. Don't stop posting on your personal page though. And I still keep it almost like not obvious beach body. Don't make it an obvious beach body personal page. And that's just, honestly, that's just good marketing and good recruiting. If you're making it beach body, like good luck, you know, like nobody wants to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. Like I'm kind of tired of seeing it in my news feeds and I'm a coach. So like, I want to see what you guys are doing like personally, you know, and then sneak beach body in there in an interesting way. And so what I do with my like pages, I'll do a coach or I'll do a free group, clean eating or a water challenge, usually clean eating. And I filter those people. I promote the post. I spend a little bit of money. I'm a really big high roller and I think I spend like $20. So then I get like 20 people. And to be honest, I don't really want like 200 people because if I have 200 people, it's a little overwhelming to me. I would rather feel like I really paid attention to the 20. Then I have 200 people and I'm just kind of like throwing darts at a board, hoping that somebody connects. So I get like 20 new friends. And what I'll do is I'll say comment below if you want to join my free clean eating group. And they do. And then underneath it, I'll say friend request me at, facebook.com. And if they don't, I'll send them a friend request. And then whoever actually became friends with me, usually I'll have like 10, 15 people in the end. I put in a clean eating group and I add them to my close friends list. And then they start seeing my posts. And then that's how I add new people. And at that point, I make sure that I have a list and I go to their pages and I comment on their stuff and I pay attention to them. And paying attention to them is more important than even them reading my stuff. So I have had a few people unfriend me and it's probably because I post excessively. And you know, if you can't handle my posts, then that's okay. Because like I do post a lot. So my feeling is I'm going to attract the people that like me, that understand. So don't take it personally when people, you know, maybe they unlike your page or they unfriend you. Like it's going to happen. And that's just, she's trimming my hair. That's part of like just having thick skin for the business, you know. But what I was going to say about your Beachbody post, just back to that, and you guys didn't ask a question about it, but something came to my mind, is I've been telling my coaches, don't start your first sentence. Like it's almost like a creative writing lesson. And don't start your first sentence with anything Beachbody at all possible. And there's sometimes that I struggle to figure out how to maneuver it, but like here's one example. Okay, I love the 21 Day Fix. I lost 20 pounds, and now I have pants that fit. So that's not a bad post. I mean, it's great, but it's not great, but it's not a bad post. But the problem is the first sentence where you say, I love 21 Day Fix, people that don't love Beachbody have already stopped reading. Like, they don't want to read it. They don't want to hear it. So if you want to kind of sucker them into reading your stuff, then start it with, I can remember a time when, it was uncomfortable to tie my shoe. Or I can remember a time when I could not, I had to wear plus size clothes or something like that. And then you say something like, it's amazing how much better I feel. And then maybe even just hashtag 21 Day Fix. Or maybe at the end, tie it in and say, I'm so grateful to have found the 21 Day Fix. It's changed my life. But the point is, draw them in with something, with emotion, with feeling, or something fun and interesting or funny, or a question. I like questions to start my posts. So something like, can you relate? Or am I the only one? Or something like that. And when you do that, people are like, I don't know, are you? And then they start reading your stuff. So it's about drawing your audience in and being interesting in the beginning of the post, because if you're boring in the first part, they're not going to read the second. And don't write a novel, because people won't read that either. So.
Awesome.
I just answer. You didn't even ask, but.
No, but that was great.
Thank you. No, that's good tips.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
I have a couple. I guess it's just one question. I'm trying to figure out, I've been struggling with recruiting a lot, trying to figure out kind of how to transition the conversation over when I'm originally talking to people. Like, I have customers that I'm working with that are doing really well with the 21 Day Fix, and they might turn into discount coaches, but I'm trying to figure out a way to bring up the topic before they even purchased anything. So how do you how would you transition the conversation over and to be like, hey, you want to be a coach? So that's kind of what
I'll tell you why. So I never actually have to do that usually. I mean, it's been a long time. And I would say the reason for that is because my focus on my posts is so much about recruiting and the lifestyle of coaching. And I've sold the lifestyle of coaching usually before they've come to me about the challenge pack. Most of the time when someone comes to me about the challenge pack, they say, what's this coaching thing? Or they'll say, okay, I'm interested in the 21 Day Fix and the coaching thing. It's rare that somebody isn't interested in coaching when they come to me, because I've set the stage with my posts. So instead of putting yourself in that uncomfortable position of how do I talk about this, it's much easier to sell the lifestyle in your posts all along, and your customers will see that, And I'm not saying that if right now you need it to get to a certain rank, you need diamond or you need emerald. I'm certainly not saying that you shouldn't private message. I've certainly private messaged before. And I'll tell you a format that I use, because I actually posted one this morning on our team page. But most of the time, I would say a more effective approach is to sell the coaching lifestyle every day. And you can do that without even officially saying coaching. Talking about the freedom that if you're working, talk about the freedom of other coaches. Share when somebody stops working at their job, or share somebody that, is able to afford a new house or pay off their student loans or something like that. You're selling the lifestyle. So it's how you pitch it all along, that when they come to you about the 21 Day Fix, they're also and you've already said something like, for example, a lot of times I'll talk about, especially in the beginning, and I have to tell you, I was better in the beginning. I was more intense in the beginning. I was more driven in the beginning. And I want to get back to that, but it's just I'm kind of oh, this is nice. But I always hit 10. I'm not and I always take care. My focus is so much on my team that a lot of my recruiting and stuff, I've slacked a little bit, but at the same time, the people that come to me they already know about coaching, and they already know about, the opportunity, and talking about the fact that it's no risk is another thing. I remember I posted a lot for a while about the fact that like a brick and mortar business, you know, I'm hearing about so many people that invest in a storefront and they buy inventory and it flops and they've lost money and they've worked their butts off for 2 years and it flops and they've lost all this money. I'm thinking, I'm like, you know, within a year, 14 months, I was making 6 figures. Within, you know, 2 years, I was on the track to make double that. And I spend $15 a month. $15, and I save on my Shakeology. So really, I'm saving $15 because I was a customer before. I really don't have inventory. I mean, overhead. So, you know, talking about that, like just talking about how sad you think it is that businesses are failing all around your community, tie it into Beachbody. Talk about how it's no overhead. Talk about how, you know, it's so flexible and a mom can do it. Like you're so proud of one of the coaches on your team because she works a full-time job, but she just started making, you know, full-time income also with Beachbody, and it allowed her to, you know, pay off the car or whatever it is. Or talk about yourself. If you're home with the kids, talk about the freedom. Talk about the fact that you get to spend time with your kids, the fact that you don't have to miss extracurricular activities, stuff like that. Think about the ways that it improves your life monetarily and quality of life beyond that. Even if it's just date night. I remember that being one of my posts when I was an early coach. Like, I can actually go on a date night now. We can afford it. Or you know, I've never been good at budgeting, but my husband used to have to dole out cash for me before I was a coach. I would get $180 a week. That included everything. Like if I wanted a shirt, I better budget that in because we were paying off our debt. And so it's just nice, the freedom that I don't want to like talk about it too much on Facebook because then people are like, especially in the South, you know, I'm not in a flashy area, and it's so that it's different wherever you are. It's different, and people don't want to constantly hear 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures. They're going to be like, "Wow, you're really conceited." Whereas in some areas of the country, it might be acceptable to talk like that a little bit more. It's just not where I am. You guys are Georgia, so well, not everybody, but yeah, kind of the same culture, like you know, expectations and humility is valued, and so. Just kind of keeping that in mind and the likability factor at the same time. Did that help?
Yeah, that's very helpful.
Oh, but I was going to say, if you are approaching people, so say you haven't set the stage yet, but you want to recruit right now. A good way to do that, in my opinion, is to write them a message and compliment them, like in a sincere way. So if you think, oh, they're going to be a really good coach, you might say something like, you know, "Hi there. I just, you know, I normally don't write people out of the blue like this, but I cannot help but to notice that you have such a positive energy about you, or I cannot help but to notice that you are such a fitness inspiration, or I can't help but to notice that you already eat so healthy, or you were such an awesome participant in the challenge group." And then I would say that's exactly the kind of person that I'm looking to add to my team. Would you be interested in listening to a call, no pressure, no commitment, or joining an open house or whatever you have to offer them? But that's a good way to approach it. I think coming from like a flattery standpoint, but in a sincere way is effective.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've all been struggling. We're all kind of laughed, like we've been making jokes on our team page. Like how we spend like hours like writing these posts out and they don't get anything. And then we'll write like a 1-sentence thing. It's like us holding a glass of wine. Everyone's like, "Oh my God." Like they just like, it blows up our
They don't
news.
work. No, the long ones don't work. I mean, really, they don't.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to read it. Like if you can express a point that's intriguing and interesting and positive about Beachbody, but without the whole like dramatic, "It's changed my life," and you know, the 5 paragraphs, and it's like, oh my gosh, like nobody wants to read it, you know. But if you do it little by little, it doesn't have to come out in you know, a term paper in one post. It can trickle out like over the course of a month, and they're more likely to read it when you're a little sneaky. You know, you got to be a little bit sneaky, and somebody that people are like, okay, she's normal. She's not like obsessed with Beachbody, you know, but confident as a leader, and that's going to come out anyways because as you grow a team and you recruit and you're good to them and you recognize them and you train them, they're going to come onto your page and they're going to say, "Thank you so much." And you know what? People see that. And you guys need to start doing that with your sponsor. It's not a one-way street. It's not just, you know, my downline's great, my downline's great, my downline's great. If you want your sponsor to grow, and you do because you want a strong leg, you need to be praising your sponsor publicly. Like let people see what they're doing. Praise them, build them up. You want them to grow too. You want them to do big things.
Awesome. Thank
That
you
help?
so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Say bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
We really appreciate your time. It's been,
Oh, I enjoyed it.
yes,
thank
we learned
you.
a lot.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night, everyone. Thank you for,
Yes.
Have a good week.
yes, that's right. We're the beginning. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.